What's happening, Shutter Nation? Happy Tuesday. I am Heather Sica-Leonard, head of the Shred board, and so excited to be here filling in on the Shred Your Body call for episode number 72. That's right, we are 72 episodes long. I can't believe that we've been around this long. It's amazing. So if you're here, drop a comment. Let us know where you're calling in from. Tonight, I am super excited because I get to dig in with an Ice of Body finalist, Miss Kathy Peters. She started to share some stuff on our Come Alive call last week, and we get to dig deeper into that story. So without further ado, let me bring Miss Kathy Peters into the call. Hello, my beautiful friend who's
Hello.
2:00 in the afternoon in Hawaii.
It is. How are you doing?
Good. Miss Kathy's going to teach me about time zones because I don't know how to do them.
No, I'm not the right person for that. I'm most terrible. I have friends in Montana, Ohio, Illinois, Iowa, and I'm like, just tell me what time that is Eastern time, and then I just subtract 8. I'm good. That's all I know.
That's fantastic.
It's just a mind block. You know how people have mind blocks? That's mine.
The good thing is us shredders don't need to know our time zones. We can always catch the replays on the YouTube channel if we don't know how to tell them.
Unless you're being interviewed, then it becomes an issue.
Yeah. Minor details.
We're good.
So, Kathy, welcome. Why don't you tell, I mean, I've already referenced that you're in Hawaii, but where in Hawaii are you calling in from? Tell us a little bit how you got there.
I am on the island of Kauai in Kalaheo, which is the southwest side. Randy and I got married here in 2003 and decided that snow sucked and we were never going to live in Ohio for very long. So 1 year later, we moved back here because when we landed in Ohio, it was a blizzard and my sister had to drop me off at the end of the street and we had to take our luggage through 3 feet of snow, uphill barefoot to snow. That was my dad's story. 3 feet of snow to our door, and we just kind of looked at each other and said, this is just ridiculous, because we just came from here for 2 weeks and it rained the entire time we were here, but it was warm. So we figured it out, and I got a job with Harley Davidson on the phone. I said, do I need a contract or something? Like, do I just show up? Just show up for work. And I thought, well, that's scary. Okay, so I did. So I went from this really nice law office where I worked to this very, what shall I say? I think there were mice living there, big mice that have a different name than mouse. It was an incredible change for me, but you know, I got to wear jeans to work and Harley Davidson t-shirts, and for 4 years, it was fun, a lot of fun.
There you go. Shifting things, right?
Yeah. It was a great experience.
And so you embraced the change because you had the climate you wanted, right?
We did, and we had some friends here that we had met on vacation that helped me find a job. Randy got a job. We got a house. We gutted it. Randy's a builder by trade, and that was fun. So it was just fun. We met nice people, and it's been great. I have no complaints.
And there's people like me who say I'm inviting myself over to visit. So that's great.
Oh, no, I invited you personally. Just now. You're invited personally.
And you're all witnesses. So when I start sending pictures from Hawaii, you all know why.
Well, we have a couple people that have been here that I've met through Shred, and a couple people from Ice Body, which is how this whole thing started. Yeah, we've had plenty of people come, and it's been fun. They stay with us. We don't care. We're easy to get along with.
So I guess you have beef and butter. It's all good.
Right. That's all we do have. What are you bringing? Beef and butter? Okay.
I love it. So you gave us a little bit about your bio growing up, but can you share some more with us about that? Dig into that and share that with those who didn't read it beforehand?
Sure. My mom was very involved in weight loss. She was probably 5 foot tall and I think weighed 220. And she was just a hardworking, matronly mom. And she was always on Weight Watchers. So I grew up with liver and onions, John. And every organ meat, my parents always bought half a cow. or a whole cow maybe, and we ate tongue and liver and brains, and she would just disguise it all. And I never knew anybody else didn't do that. So we all were forced to do that, whether we liked it or not. And it didn't really bother me, but I never saw the longevity of her diet plan working for her, because she kept gaining the weight back, and then she'd lose the weight, and then she'd gain the weight. And then I saw her taking like some kind of diet supplement pills, and I think they were chocolate square things. And I just saw all these weird things hanging around. And I think back in the day, there was even some kind of non-prescription speed that people used to take. And I thought, God, that can't be healthy. And she died at age 58, which is younger than I am now. So I was only 18. And I really think that her yo-yo dieting had a lot to do with her early death. So she was playing Scrabble and drinking beer with her sister, and she just had a brain aneurysm and died. So good for her to die that way, right? Who wouldn't want to have a non-painful death? But it was totally devastating for us. And so I just decided that I was never going to do that yo-yo thing. It's either I'm going to stay pudgy, or I'm just going to get fit and be that way the rest of my life. So I kind of went the other way and didn't eat enough. And I was pretty thin, but I never really had a disorder or anything like that, but I could have. I could see how somebody could fall into that. I
want to pause though, and I want to go back to what you were eating all of the meat and the organs and everything, which we know is very nutrient dense. So was it how it was served, or was it what it was served with? Or
it was a food pyramid from way back when. You had a starch, you had a vegetable, we weighed everything. There was this huge amount of other stuff, and whole milk and skim milk and and cereal and just things with a lot. I mean, there's a lot of sugar. I think a lot of sugar was being served. And when you crave food and you're sitting around watching TV and you get the popcorn out and the chips out, and then everybody just says, "Oh, well, we'll start over tomorrow." That was kind of the way it was in my family, eating in front of the television, eating at the table. Then as I got older, we stopped doing that, and we just became really professional snackers. And cereal in front of TV watching Gilligan's Island, if you even know what that is. But
yes, I do.
That's what we did. And we were so excited if we got permission to watch TV and eat something. So it was just food was just really the center of attention. It was the center of every social gathering. The first year after my mom passed away, we had a Thanksgiving dinner, and everybody made pizzas. Is that a step in the wrong direction or what? But everybody was afraid to cook a big, huge Thanksgiving dinner, because we knew it wasn't going to be the same. So it just kind of went downhill, and we just kind of got sloppy. And I tried really hard to stay on top of it, and had a couple kisses with being on the obese scale. I lost 50 pounds, but I didn't really gain that much weight until I moved here. But I was a pudgy kid up until about 6th grade, 8th grade maybe, and lost weight by just starving myself to death because I didn't want to be fat. And so I just had this experience my whole life with being involved with weight loss, and then just looking at my mom's skin I mean, she'd move and she would laugh. She'd say, "Look, my skin's following me." And she just had this droopy skin. I mean, when you lose 100 pounds, what do you expect your skin to do? So right. I thought, oh, I don't think I like that. So I just decided I wasn't going to do that. So when I found Isagenix in 2013, it found me. I dove in. I thought, this has got to be easier than what I'm doing, what I'm trying, over exercising and under eating like everybody.
Right.
So
you said, you were the pudgy kids up to 6th to 8th grade. How was that? Because I work with 8th grade.
Awful. But I had a sense of humor through it all, and I knew I was pudgy, and I knew I wasn't going to stay pudgy. So the joke was kind of, I mean, I don't know. I think in everybody's mind that I went to school with, I was always the pudgy kid. So everybody that I dated in high school was from a different school because in their mind I was always the pudgy kid. But I mean, I like to have fun and we had a lot of fun, and I was always one of those kids that I stayed out of trouble till I hit my 20s. So I just, I just, I don't know. I didn't fit in anywhere. I didn't fit with the skinny kids. I didn't fit with the fat kids. I wasn't smart. I wasn't dumb. I wasn't athletic, but I played softball. I don't know. I didn't fit anywhere. I had curly hair, which didn't help, and braces and probably zits. I don't remember, but I always thought I had good friends and we had a lot of fun. I mean, we would laugh. I don't remember ever being sad. So, but I was alone a lot too because my parents had my grandparents living with us, so we had 3 generations living in our house. One with Alzheimer's, and we would take turns at night. We were in charge of Grandpa, so he always seemed to have bowel problems when it was my turn. But that's okay because it set me up for knowing how to handle that, And I had a good upbringing and I had lots of love around me, and I learned a lot about what not to do nutritionally. I knew what didn't work, but I didn't know what did work.
Ah.
Ooh, you can use that.
You knew what didn't work, but you didn't know what did work.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you think that is?
Because I never saw anybody able to sustain their weight loss. Doing Weight Watch, I mean, nothing against Weight Watchers. It's great for whoever it works for, but it just didn't work for me. I just couldn't see living my life always constantly worried about what I was putting in my mouth. And I just when I found isogenics, it was so much easier, even though I still was careful with it because of the meal that you ate. I had great success with it, but when we moved into a different house on the island and kind of fell off the side of the earth because my home gym didn't come with us, and we went across the street from a gym, so I stopped being active and then packed 25 pounds back on. And that's when Shred, I lost my job, and then Shred, kaboom, into my face. And it was honestly the best timing because I really could pour myself into the group, which was what I did first. And I read every single one of your Shreducator videos. And I thought, my God, this is organized. Who organized this? I should find out who this is. She's brilliant. And it was you and Susan and all of the people. But I did. I went from one to all the way through. I checked them off as I saw them, and I made sure I didn't miss any. And some of them, I mean, Randy is like, what are you doing? I said, I'm educating myself. I think I'm going to try this. He says, well, I'll do it. Because he knew that if he didn't, he'd starve to death. So he just did it with me.
So I want to go back a little bit before the Shred, because you were an ISA body finalist. So for those who are new to our community, can you talk a little bit more about that in that transition from not knowing what does work until finding isogenics, where you started to have your success and you became an ISA body finalist? Can you share more on that?
Sure. I started in January of 2013, 50 pounds overweight with heavy determination. Because again, I saw this horrifying picture of myself. And the person that enrolled me said, this will work for you. You're doing it. And I did not have the money to do it. But I found the money and I ordered the 30-day. And within 3 days, 2 shakes a day and 1 meal, I thought, wow, this is going to work for me. I don't feel hungry. And then I tried to do a cleanse day. That was ridiculous. Just one cleanse day. It was massive fail.
All right. But let's talk. So if you could put yourself back to that day 3 person, and you're thinking about the person who says, I can't afford this nutrition, what would you say to them now?
Figure it out, because you can't afford it. Number one, because you don't buy the stuff at the store. You're replacing 2 meals with about a $4 shake after it's delivered. I mean, with a pro. I used to say $3.47, but it's different now. And you can't eat for that. You can't get the macronutrients and the nutrition or the satiation from a meal that you get from a shake. And I have always believed that we've saved money in isogenics, even with having auto ship and buying the minimum, always being an IsaBody. I have never missed an IsaBody since I started.
And what is IsaBody for those who don't know?
IsaBody Challenge is a 4-month challenge that you enter through your back office. It's free except for you have to be an active, you have to have an auto ship, and you have to have 200 BVs.
500 total over the course of the
125 BVs a month, or 500 over the period of 4 months. Yeah. And you take your before pictures, you take your measurements, you throw up because you see all that, and then you just go at it for 4 months. And then at the end of the first time I did it, I was so successful right away, and I didn't know I was supposed to keep doing it. So, but you have to take your after pictures. And I thought, well, my goodness, that was really smart that I took my measurements and I saw these inches I lost. That was more amazing to me than the weight loss. And then to have that before and after picture next to each other, and the same person took the pictures, and I had the same clothes on in the same exact spot, and I couldn't believe it. And I thought I had reached my goal after 4 months, and I still kept doing the IsaBody Challenge, and I still kept doing the isogenics protocol, and I kept losing weight. And I said, well, I'm still losing weight. She happens to be a dietitian, and she said, your body will tell you when you're done. So I kept right on going, and then I became a finalist. I got down to this great place, and I was working out, and I sent in my essay because I'm a really fast typer. No, I really am, but that's my only talent. But and they liked what I said. If you're unique, you have to send an essay, and you can do the IsaBody Challenge without doing the essay, and you still get a $200 coupon. That's where the 200 was coming from. And you have 60 days to use it. So I always use mine for free shipping because I live in Hawaii. So I can order anything I want, anytime I want, and I have free shipping. And then Randy does too. So that's what we use this one for. But you get $200 worth of whatever you want to try. And if you want to just buy, Isoline Pro Shakes, you can. But the IsaBody Challenge in 2015 and 2017 was an absolute mind-boggling blast because we got to go before the pandemic, and it was cruises and trips and bling, and oh my God, we must have gone on 8 trips through IsaBody between us in 2 years. So all of the friends we met, all of the experiences we had at the events, they were incredible. And we haven't been to an event for a few years, but they were so much fun because we knew everybody. Well, we knew a lot of people, and the IsaBody is its own culture. If you're an IsaBody finalist, you have friends immediately, no matter if you want them or not, because you're jammed in a room, you have your picture taken with barely any clothes on, and you get to know everybody's personal hygiene, and you can help people say, and of course, I'm like, that was not a good, because I'm taking pictures too. Like somebody would say, oh, can you take pictures for my wife? She's not here. I'm taking pictures, and I'm like, that was not a good picture. You should stand like this. And so I just took over, and if the photographer did whatever they wanted, and I was like, oh no, you should do this because this is your good side. And somebody needs to tell you this. And I don't know anything about photography, but I pretended like I did. And that's how I learn a lot, is to pretend like I know, and then I get it all figured out. So I pretend like I know. I can interview myself if you want me to. I'll just pretend like I know how.
I love it. Go for it.
I do kind of just go in and take over. I think on the last one, Sean was interviewing me, and I know that I'm just kind of taking over, but I think I'm on a roll.
Go for it.
No, I'm good. I need to know what you want to know.
Well, so I have 2 ideas right now. You're talking about the IsaBody community. Mm-hmm. Can you compare that to the ER Shred community?
No, because there is no comparison. There's no comparison with the ER Shred community because I can jump into the ER Shred community anytime and put the dumbest thing I ever thought of or the smartest thing I ever thought of, and I can post it and somebody's going to respond to me. In the ISA body, that community is wonderful. If you are on a journey and this is you and this is what you're doing and you have a coach and they're telling you to eat the food pyramid from the olden days, it's nothing. I could not gain as much joy from that as I have from ER Shred. And I mean, I went into it and I was like, what is this Facebook page? Who is this Heather person? Who's this Susan person? And I'm thinking, somebody asked me a question. I didn't know the answer to it. That somebody direct messaged me a question. I'm like, wow, I don't know. You should ask Susan. And they said, well, who's Susan? And I said, oh, let me show you. And I just gave her I took Susan's thing. I screenshot it. I said, this is the person you need to go ask because that's above and beyond my expertise. I can't make up an answer to that question. It's a little too hard. Usually I just make something up and hope that it's right. Usually I'm close. I only make stuff up if I've experienced it and I try to make it sound professional, like spectaculous. I just pick up words on spectaculous.
We love making our own words. And I think spectaculous, shredtaculous, that we can make up our own vocabulary. Yeah. I mean, look at my title. I am a Shreducator. We make up our own words.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I just, I feel at home in the community. It came at the exact right time in my life when I had a job I really loved and it kapoof got erased. And I thought, wow, I need to stay busy. So I literally poured myself into that group because nobody rejected me. I kept waiting for somebody to say, you need to shut up, but nobody said shut up. I kept waiting. They still might. I don't know.
I mean, I do have editing powers. Like I know how to edit Jessie. So
yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, edit me if you want to. I won't take offense. But no, I feel very embraced.
I want to think back to what you were sharing about your childhood, where you said you didn't feel like you belonged. Do you feel like that has?
I have always had that weird, I don't belong anywhere thing because I was an accidental child. I mean, I was not supposed to. I mean, my parents were embarrassed that I came along in their 40s, right? So I always felt like, you can just go stand in the corner and be quiet. You don't need to come out and tell everybody that, you were born. I mean, and we had people, like I said, living in our house and I just kind of accepted it. I learned how to be alone, which was good, but I never fit into a column, like anywhere in school, even in my jobs. I kind of was always the bizarre one that didn't quite fit in. I didn't fit in a law office at all, but I worked there for 15 years or 17, I don't know. And I loved that job. And there were a couple people in that law office that they were quite put off by me, I'm sure. But they're dear friends now. I mean, they're like, I did not know what to do with you. You came like a bulldozer and you're like, do I have to wear gray hose, gray skirt, a gray jacket and no makeup to work here? Because I can't do that. I can't wear pointy-toed shoes. I could type really fast. I could always type really fast, but I didn't fit the mold. But I ended up really loving that job because it was helping people who were grieving. So I had a lot of grief counseling experience. I got to learn and I had Alzheimer's experience because I with my grandpa. And people would come in and we did wills and trusts, and I fit there finally after a couple years when I convinced them all that suits were stupid and pointy shoes were ouchy. But,
yeah, absolutely.
I would say that was the first place I really felt like I fit.
That's awesome. So. And now you see that you fit because we embrace the outcasts, right? That's what I love.
Mimi should write a song about being outcasts.
I believe there is one from The Hunchback of Notre Dame. Mimi, you and I need to connect on that. I have an idea.
Yeah, because
no, that's never good when she and I connect on a creativity collaboration, right?
No. Well, she asked me if I played the ukulele, and I do. but I can't sing as well as she does, but I pretend. Remember how I said I pretend? I can pretend I can sing.
And I'm
I
a
can
music
be
educator.
harmony.
I might be able to help you.
I'm a good harmonizer. I just can't sing I can't sing the main, what do they call that? The main person? The melody. Oh, no, no, no. I'm all over the place making everybody else sound good.
So that's one of the biggest things I love is our community, and we embrace everybody. All right. So you did your Isobody challenge. I'll get back onto your nutritional track now. I just heard a community conversation. I wanted to go there because I know our community, I think, has been so pivotal for so many people. I know it was for me. And then the empowerment that I got on my journey to be in the place where I am is because of the community that has been created. And I know the board and the members, we're very protective of our community, that we want it to stay the way it is, because it is just so powerful and so positive and so welcoming. And I just love that part about it. Yeah. All right. So you did your Isobody challenge, you did your travels. Then what happened on your journey?
I maintained my weight until about 2019 when we moved. And then I went down the slippery slope of thinking that cheese and nacho chips were a meal. They're not.
You sound like my husband, but okay.
Yeah. We ate it every day. We thought it was great. Look, cheese and corn. We're like Indians. We were eating corn and cheese. You know, every day we just ate it. It was awful. We weren't getting any nutrition. I couldn't use the shakes very well. I was feeling bloaty. I didn't understand what was happening. I went to dairy free. I didn't care for them. So I'd do like a shake a week because I just, of course, you know, the bars are yummy and I'm chowing on the bars. That's not good. So, I just looked at myself one day and thought, wow, this is at hand. I knew it was happening when it was happening, just because of my clothes. And I'm the queen of knowing what clothes fit. That's why I had gold jeans instead of a gold weight. And I still can't get in the gold jeans, and I'm giving them away to somebody who can, because it's an unrealistic size for me. I was on the Isobody stage when I got into those jeans, and I really didn't remember that about them. I could wear them as socks or mittens, maybe, but not, or a scarf. They'd be a nice denim scarf, but not on my body. So I bought new jeans, and they're my new gold jeans, and I did get in them, and I feel comfortable. And cool story. Here's a story for you. I went to Iowa to visit my sister, who has Lewy body dementia, and my oldest sister was also there, and she's 79. So she says, well, what do you want to eat? And I said, just meat and butter. I already told my brother-in-law, just meat and butter, eggs, meat, butter. And I'll bring my own beef sticks and la la la. And he goes, okay. So, I mean, he had this refrigerator full of meat and butter and chicken and fish and meat and bacon. So I had 2 shakes a day. I made my sister one, my brother-in-law one. We drank bone broth. I had my stuff sent there. I didn't carry it with me. By the end of the thing, she had put in her shred order because she said she felt better. And it was so easy. You know, our whole life isn't like in the kitchen doing something. We were sitting, chatting and laughing and having a good time being with each other instead of cleaning up the kitchen and getting plates out. And, you know, we still had the meat meal, but that was easy. So it was wonderful. And she sat in the room when I was on another call. Might have been with Sean last week. I might have been in Iowa, but she's like, wow, those people are really nice. You know, I said, no. I said, I think you'll like it. But she wanted she wanted everybody to do it with her. And I'm like, you can just do it for yourself. And then once you experience it, do it with other people. She says, no, I believe you. I think it's great. And I feel so much better. And I feel so much more energy. And I was like, whatever you want to do, I'll help you. You know, she's been isogenic with me since 2013, off and on.
I was just going to ask, what was her experience before when you did it?
She thought it was very restricted. She didn't like in the olden days when you had to do auto ship to be able to get a discount and all of the stuff. And she was trying to help us be successful. And we're product users, you know, and until the ER Shred, I wasn't interested in looking into anything else except being a product user. But it's so different that kind of caught on fire again with, you know, maybe this is shareable. Maybe other people might like to see how this goes. So, for example, next Tuesday, I have a friend coming over. He says, I'm going to come over and I'll bring Randy a steak and then we'll do liver and onions, okay? Yes. Randy's like, oh my God, why don't you just bring a hoof? You know, but we have liver and onions and they're doing it. Our friends are doing it. They love it. You know, it's just, how can you not catch excitement of it? If you're in the group for 5 minutes, you're looking at the people, they're posting something goofy, they're posting a silly song, they're posting something serious, they're asking a legitimate question. You know, and the guides, and I have to give you kudos to the guides because I am anal retentive about my closet and my cupboards and my this, and everything has to be in a row. And if it's not, it's not like it drives me bananas. I just prefer it that way. And so I was going through those guides and I'm like, oh my God, this is so organized. Somebody like me must have done this. I must meet her. She needs to be my new best friend because it was brilliantly laid out. I mean, anything you would want to know. What should I go to the store and buy? Oh, look, a shopping guide. Oh, what should I expect on a shake day? What can I eat? Well, what are the brand names? What else can I have on a maintenance day? When do maintenance days happen? All of it was right there. All I did was put it in the search bar and kaboom. I always found whatever I was looking for. So you are the queen.
I think that's because they left me alone with 127th and 8th graders. So I need to be organized and know where everything is at every moment.
Yeah, you know, you did a hard job with that age group. Oh boy.
So I think, you know, my background, and I hope people have realized this, is my background has nothing to do with health and nutrition.
Well,
I just teach.
It's so helpful though. I mean, you're just an organized educator.
And that's what I love too about our community is if you have something that's going to give to our community, it's welcomed with open arms.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why I love calls like this. I love our Come Alive calls because our community is so big. But as people start to share and we learn more, like, look at how much more comes out. Imagine if Mimi never sang a song for us. Mm-hmm. What would our community be?
But, you know, I don't feel like the community's big. I feel like it's full of love, but I don't feel like it's as massive. When I hear how many people are in it, I'm like, wow. But there are a lot of people who don't want to share, and they're just learning and absorbing. And they're obnoxious or more obnoxious-lated people. Oh, well, I'm an obnoxious-later. What can I say? But I do. I like to be helpful and you know, you can call me and ask me a question. You can instant message me. I'll answer your question if I know it. If I don't know it, I truly will admit it. Truly. But I want everybody to be successful.
And I also like what you said. You know how to use the search bar. You know how to find the guides. And if we continue to educate people around doing that, then they become more empowered. Like you empowered yourself. This is what I love is that you said, I'm going to do this, but I'm going to know what I'm doing. And so you took on the empowerment because the resources are there for anybody to be successful if they want to be. So I want to talk more about mindset and goals because you talked about your genes. What advice would you give to people around goals, realistic goals, adjusting goals? Talk to yourself as if.
Well, just decide that you're going to do it. And just decide that you know it's going to be successful and commit to the 11-day shred. That's how I started. And after 3 days, I came alive. I truly did. I felt it. I knew it. felt the same way when I started isogenics, but this was a little bit more intense because I wasn't hungry. And
So were you
I thought,
hungry
wow,
on the traditional?
it was. And then I did 2 cleanse days in a row, which for me was an absolute, you've got to freaking be kidding me. I just did 2 cleanse days and I woke up the 3rd day and I felt like I could do another cleanse day. I didn't even care about what time I drank my shake. And that really was a game changer for me because I had never been able to get through 2 days without torturing myself, like torture. So I thought I couldn't live without ionics. I decided to do everything exactly what you said. And I did. I did it clean drastically, strictly, but that's how I do it. I want to see what happens if I do it the right way. And then the next time, maybe if I felt like I needed something, I could do it. I didn't have a massive amount of weight to lose, but I sure did have 25 pounds to lose. And it worked. And I felt fantastic. And I thought, well, how far do I want to go with this? Because I lost, I'd say 12 pounds on the first shred. 12 pounds of inflammation and whatever de-doo-dah that was, it was gone. But it doesn't mean anything to me because I knew all I had to do was look at something and I would have 3 pounds back on. But it didn't really happen that way. And I maintained, it stayed off. So, but then my weight loss slowed down because I still have not, I'm still working on my mindset of being active. And my husband has sustained an injury in his shoulder, and we're trying to work around that and be more active. And it's a great excuse to blame it on him. And but we have the ability to walk our dogs and everything. But if I were more active, it would have come off faster. But I wasn't in a hurry. I wanted to see what happened if I didn't exercise because I'm the queen of saying, and I only just did Pilates, which is exercise. Truly, it's hard. But I did it sporadically. I wasn't committed to the movement until Jesse said we had to be. Then I did because he said we had to be. And I'm a rule follower. And I followed the rules. I followed the rules. When he said that, I'm like, well, how many squats can I do in 10 minutes? That's a lot of squats. So
Yeah.
I brush my teeth and I do my squats. That's like 60 squats if you do them fast. I mean, and you're brushing your teeth for as long as you're supposed to brush your teeth, you've got 3 or 4 minutes in right there. And you only have 7 more minutes.
Do Sally with your squats.
Yeah.
Do you know that song, Moby's Flower? They say Sally up, Sally down, and you do your squats in line with the music.
No.
I posted that workout.
Uh-oh, I better find it.
It's a 3-minute workout, or it sings Sally up, Sally down, and then when you stay down through the verse because the verse is still going.
Oh.
And then you're up and down.
No,
try it. My 7-year-old loves it.
Yeah, he's adorable. Yes. So all I can say is then I decided I was gonna probably try to drop 25 pounds and get to a certain weight. And of course I couldn't quite get into that area. So I decided that I was going to get into these jeans. Then I saw that they still came right up to my knees. I thought, well, unrealistic. Let's adjust. You know, if it's unrealistic, you're not going to get into something that you wore when you're in high school. And I'm almost 60 years old. Well, I am 60 years old. But
so how would you help somebody in the mindset that can't get past that?
You have to decide that you're worth it. You have to decide that you're worth your own effort. We can't decide it for you. If you need to reach out for support, absolutely do that. Get a buddy. I had 2 buddies doing it with me. I mean, outside of the group, in the group, but outside of the group. And did we need each other? Maybe not, but it sure was way more fun. We were accountable to each other and to the group. I posted every day something I thought would be valuable, even if it was just to reinforce my commitment to myself. I can't help anybody take care of themselves or make the decision for themselves unless I know I could do it myself. But I was determined to never feel like crap again about myself because that's just no fun to be around. And who wants to be around somebody who's a Debbie Downer? I don't want to be a Debbie Downer. I want to be a Ursula Upper. I don't know. I want to be fun to be around so people will choose to to come over to my house and be with me. And I know how good I feel. And I think I want to be maybe regarded as joyful and loving and caring and giving instead of, oh my God, just give me another pretzel and pass the beer, which I could do that too, but not right now. But that's just who I want to be. I want to be that joyful person that attracts other joyful people. And you attract what you put out. You can't be happy unless you give out happiness. So I like being a cheerleader for other people because it's fun.
So what's some of the cheerleading you would do for somebody who can't make that decision for themselves yet?
I'd ask them what's holding you back. Write it down and say, can it hold you? Can you put it aside for 11 days? Can you put it aside for 3 days? Can you put it aside for 5 days? Oh, I'm afraid to do the cleanse. Why? I'll do it with you. We'll call each other every time we do a shot of cleanse. We'll call each other. And I would just say, you get the support you need. Making the decision about your own health isn't really all about you. It's about your family. Who loves you? Why do they love you? Don't you think they want you alive? Don't you think they think, and if I don't mean to bring this up, but if you are a lover of being a victim, it's harder to get a mindset of health and wellness because it's so easy to be in a victim setting because you get negative attention. But if you're not a victim, the positive attention is so much more fun because you have so much more energy and you have so much more aliveness, and then you can help other people realize, wow, don't sit there and ladle downer gravy on your head. Be up and help other people and be alive and be a good person on this earth.
Yeah. So any other tips for coaching through that victim? Or do you notice that people even think what they realize when they're playing the victim?
They don't.
Or do you call them on it?
It's a negative. Check yourself. And we used to do this. And I think here's how I check to see if I'm in victim mode or if I'm in negativity mode. I check to see how many times a day I use the word no, not, don't, all of the negative words. So Randy and I, and even our old job, we used to say, we're having a day where we can only say positive words. If you try to say a negative word, you have to change it. You can't even use the word can't or don't. And check yourself and see how many times you do it and make a check mark on a page. And maybe you need to check yourself because you might be dragging other people down around you. And maybe that's why you're not productive at your job or at home. Who wants to be around that person? If you like being alone and getting the negative attention, I can't help you. But if you realize it and you're like, wow, I wish I had your energy. Well, the energy is I choose to be positive. There's a lot more energy up here than there is down here. You're a lot more closer to love and happiness and joyfulness than you are when you're underneath that. We call it the line of poop. Because poop is down there and happiness is up here. And I would really rather be up here because poop's icky.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I love that. And I really think there is power to writing things down. You can't just say it. And there I am using a negative word.
Right. It's a really interesting day when you decide. You can do that with your son. Oh, do you want to
start with him before I take it to my classround? Let's be honest.
But
I'll be real about it.
Yeah, and every time somebody does it, I have to go. And we had a whiteboard at work, and we would mark it. Oh, wow. I'm so sorry, but I believe that you used a negative word. Where? And I would repeat it, and they're like, "Oh, crap." Then the next day we would do something fun, like we had to sing a song with all of our answers. Somebody would say something, and a song from the 80s would come up, and that's how you had to answer it. So we would deflect all of that and have fun the next day, but it was a struggle.
There is power in words, and I love that. And now you're making me very mindful of how I respond to you. But I do believe that there is a lot of power in actually writing it down because that's when it becomes concrete. So your vision, your goals, tracking what you're doing, when you make it concrete, you are more able to reflect. Is that what you're saying? That's what I'm hearing.
It can only be your decision. Somebody else is unable to make that decision for you. Now, I could have said somebody else can't make that decision for you, but I didn't. you know, it doesn't really matter to me what other people think of me. It only matters what I think of me and how I'm present in a room. But everybody wants to be loved, I think, and it's much easier to love somebody who's up here vibrating at a higher frequency. And I mean, we have crystals and music bowls and all kinds of things all over our house. Do they work? I don't know. They make me happy. I'm not some Fruit Loop that thinks I have to go sit in a bowl and gong it. Although I would, if somebody said, just try it, it's fun. I would do it. But it's in here, it's in here. Have a conversation with your higher self. Is this ER shred good for me? I believe that it is. Well, I'm going to help you through it. Just talk yourself through it. If you can't find somebody else to help you, I'll help you. Instant message me. I know I'm bananas. But I just it's okay with me.
I 1000% love it. I really, really do. Do you feel like some of that creativity and that positive energy and that vibe has grown since you started shredding? Did you notice a difference in any of that?
I believe that it has. I can be very entertaining. Yeah, I do. I'm a lot more energetic. I think I'm smarter. Not really.
Butter makes your brain better.
I'm telling you what, I really feel like I have learned so much with the protocol on this that I can't help but open my mouth when somebody says, "Oh, what do you want me to bring? We had a party. What do you want me to bring? How about deviled eggs?" Well, I think I had 5 people bring deviled eggs because I was afraid they were going to bring like potato salad or something. And I mean, I know and somebody did, and I ate it, and I was sorry I ate it. I feel like I have this wealth of knowledge and the ability to share it because I can speak of it with some intelligence behind it. I can write it, I can type it, I can share it. Why not do it if it's going to enhance somebody's what is it? Not their value of life, but their level of happiness and their
vibration in life.
Vibration, their independence. And teaching people about how to use their core. Because when you're 80, you need it to go to the bathroom. You need your legs, you need your body. You don't want somebody helping you do that. Ooh, it's not fun to have to rely on somebody to help you. And I mean, I've done it my whole life. I realized it early on. That's why I do squats when I brush my teeth.
It makes a difference.
Yeah. So the strength is here. The strength is in your body. The strength is in your heart. I just want to be a good person and share the knowledge of what makes me tick. And this ER shred makes me tick.
It absolutely does. And a lot of what I'm hearing, yes, you're working your way towards your goal and you lost your 12 pounds in your 11 days. But it sounds like that's not what's important of what came from your journey since you started.
Right. I feel the clarity. I feel like I can communicate pretty clearly most of the time. Sometimes I would search for a word and it just wouldn't come to me. But now it's right there. And if it's not, I just make up a word like smartaculous. And then
Spectaculous. I thought we were changing it.
Yeah. Well, I have a lot of new words I made up because sometimes that's just who I am. And it's just it's a fun way to go through your life laughing instead of being morose and down. I want to, my dogs are happy. How come they're happy all the time? Because we feed them good food. We feed them good dog food. I can tell when I change their dog food. They act differently. They aren't excited about eating it. They kind of like flip us off with their little paws and say, "I'm not eating this crap. Where's our other dog food?" I mean, they give you a look like this is stinky because I accidentally bought the wrong dog food. And now I got the look of, "Oh, no. I be like a puppy. They're fun. They're loving. They're joyful. They go through their life and all they want to do is be around people and spread joy."
That's so fabulous.
There's got to be a song in there somewhere. I don't know.
Oh, there will be. Mimi will watch the replay and she'll have a song for us in a day. Because
I should sit down with me.
That's what happens. The creativity flows. You have freed so much that I think you even see it in our community that people are coming alive, and it's not the weight loss, it's not the inches, it's not about that anymore.
No.
And that's what I love about this is it's about the vibration. You're shredding those lower layers of vibration and you're coming up. Your creativity is coming back to life.
And look at the people who are on the interviews and they're brave. I don't think it takes, personally, I've had to be the interviewer, so I'm not afraid to obviously be on a call. But there are people who sweat bullets about it. And gosh, they're doing it. And where did they get that courage? From us, from this group. The embracing.
So what other words of courage do you have for those? Because we have a Come Alive call tomorrow night. What would you say to those who are watching in the wings and who have had their transformations?
You're going to help one person. And if you knew you helped one person, wouldn't you feel great about helping that person? Like, wow, I helped somebody. That's really what innately humans want to do, is help each other. And if you were brave and shared your story and said, oh, I had swelling in my feet and I couldn't get my tennis shoes on, and now I can. What if that person's like, well, I have swelling in my feet and I can't get my tennis shoes on? What if they related to you in the most silliest thing you ever thought of? And just because you opened your mouth and shared it, you might have helped somebody. And if you're not geared to helping anybody, that's okay too. You can be a loner and be in a group, but there's no reason to be afraid to be interviewed, to be asked questions. And you can even have a conversation with the person who's interviewing you. Say, please don't ask me about this, or, tell them your fear factor. I don't have a fear factor, obviously. I can make one up, but I don't feel like it right now.
I feel that too.
I'm just not I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid to die. I'm not afraid to live. I'm afraid to be unhealthy and dependent on somebody else, because I've been the helper person for so many years. I've been a caregiver and for a long time. And I'd rather be on this end of it. I went over yesterday and helped an 89-year-old lady paint her toenails because she couldn't reach. That wasn't hard. I learned a whole bunch about what the Olympics were like in 1951 because she tried out for them. I learned all of this great stuff sitting at the foot of an elderly person, literally painting her toenails. It was awesome. And she was so excited that she got to share something, and she was so happy, and we're doing it again. And it was so fulfilling. I mean, it was fulfilling work. It wasn't work. It was joyful.
And isn't that what sharing the shred is?
It is. I secretly cleaned her toilet, but don't tell her.
Well, she's probably not on Facebook, so we're okay.
No, yeah. Well, I had to use her toilet, and I'm thinking, well, I might as well just go ahead and clean this up a little bit. I organized a few cupboards too, but don't tell her. But that's how much energy I have.
That's what I was going to say. When we get into those zones, things can happen very quickly for us because we have the energy, because we have the clarity. We can see it. And I think you and I are similar in that organizational thing, that our brain will organize it for us. And then our bodies can physically do that organization because they're finally keeping up with each other.
It's just like clutter.
Yeah.
I'm done with it. There's no clutter in my house.
I'm working on that. I have a 7-year-old.
Well, you have an excuse. I don't have an excuse. So.
I'm working on that. But I think one of the other things too, though, the shred, you just made me realize this. The shred gave my body the energy to keep up with my mind. Because my mind is 100 miles an hour.
Right, it spins out. Being able to say that's quite a statement.
But I think that's why things are so calm. Do you feel like you're more level?
I do. And I'm less agitated. Ask my husband. I don't get agitated about stuff like I used to. Dogs barking. I'm like, oh, well, I don't know what that dog's journey here is on earth, but obviously it's to bark. Or electronics. If I can't, like, you saw me when we first got on this call, I'm like, what the holy heck? And I normally I would be like sweating bullets thinking, oh no, I don't care. We'd figure it out. I just calmly thought, well, what do I do here? And I didn't get all wound up about it. Normally, the old me would have said, wow, I just messed this whole entire thing up. Boo-hoo, poor me. No way. There's always a better way, a happier way. If you just pay attention, there's always a positive something to learn. You just have to pay attention.
I love that. I mean, so I feel like I have been called to task from this interview. I feel like I've learned even more, which is why I love when I get to fill in on these calls. And I'm honored that I am allowed to, because I want to track myself in my language, and I'm going to have a positives only day.
Mm-hmm.
Again,
so
like
you get to represent that to kids. How fun is that?
I don't know if I'm there this week because we have April break next week.
Yeah.
So we have 3 more days of containment.
But you're going to get through it.
We are going to get through it. We
that
absolutely
positive mindset, oh my gosh.
But I am grateful to you for helping me realize those little things and how often they come out, and giving me that slap of awareness will really help me move forward and grow. So all of you that are getting these tidbits from Kathy, leave all of your love for her on this call, because this has been extremely valuable. And I, on behalf of the board, I am grateful for you to come and share with us. I am grateful for your encouragement to others to come and share with us as well. I'm grateful for you sharing about how to change your mind around goals and be realistic. And it's okay to change. It really is, because that's part of the lifestyle.
If anybody wants help with, like, if you're doing the Isobody challenge and you're like, I can whip this into shape with my body, but you're having trouble with the essay part, reach out to any Isobody finalists. They'll help you. They know what they're looking for. And you know, some of us are wordsmiths and some of us aren't, and some of us make up words. And sometimes that attracts attention. They're looking for unique. You know, anybody can drop 50 pounds, but who can represent it in a positive way to have other people go, wow, I think I could do that. They want role models, positive role models. If that's really something you want to do.
And that's what the ER Shred community is. We all learn from each other. We all show up. We all share for each other.
Yep.
So I know we are coming to the top of the hour, and I wanted to say thank you so much for coming on with me. A reminder to the community that tomorrow night, 8 Eastern, so 2 Hawaiian time, right? 2 o'clock in there?
That's right.
I can't do the math. Is the Come Alive call. Come in the Zoom. So many of you are going to be on your first cleanse day because we did kick off the group on Monday. Come into the community. Take the energy from those of us who have been there before that are cleansing with you. Don't just sit on Facebook and watch. Get on that Zoom link. Then Thursday night, for those of you who have signed up for the Shredder's Way, we have our Zoom call for that training. If you need more information, make sure you request to join shreddersunite.com. That is our business Facebook group. All of the information around that call is in there. Thank you once again for coming live. We appreciate you on behalf of the ER Shred board. Everybody have a fantastic night.
Thanks. You guys can do it.